lessons that we're going to share. If you need more information, at the end of the slides, there will be a list of all the people's, their job is just to support in the areas in leadership within curriculum. And those people then can help, and each one is indicated by an area, and we are here to help. So do let us know if you're struggling with anything. We can either do it through an email conversation or through a Zoom conversation. So do ask, okay? Do not hesitate to ask for that assistance. That is their job, is to ask for that assistance. If you're a site administrator and you want to do a whole grade level, or you're a teacher and you want to do a whole grade level meeting, just arrange it with that content expert that you want. And then they will then set up the time that they can then, date and time that they can meet with you. And you can go through a planning session with them individually, okay? So don't hesitate, please. So let's go ahead and start, kind of make it a little bit simple, build community. So what are the three words that best describe home office? So I will start it. We're going to put it in the chat if you could, and then we'll have team members just read off the chat if they could. But my home office, my veterinarian daughter's old bedroom. So thank you now, because I didn't have this as an office a month ago. So thank you now. So
wherever it's quiet, snacks and tech.
Oh, I like that. Good.
Couch wall trailer.
Well, that's it.
Near fridge.
Oh.
Disorganized with kids and dogs. Kitchen counter, patio table, any corner of the house that isn't occupied. Printer, laptop, snacks. Moving around daily.
All right, keep on adding them because it's always interesting. One that I saw that worked with one of our people, she was in her daughter's bedroom, and her daughter is 1 year old. So her office was in the baby room.
Nice.
So that was just so interesting.
Took over my husband's office.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yep.
See a lot of sharing going on. So I do want you guys to know that we are going through the same journey that you are all going through. That idea that what do we do at first? We started looking at enrichment ideas and started pushing those out through our website. If you want to know, we do have, for RCOE, there is a remote learning website that we throw up a bunch of, but it is everything from our content people that are in the room to our early childhood, homeless youth, leadership, so just a variety, SEL, PBIS, so just a variety of things on that. So if you just Google RCOE remote learning, you will find that page. And then we started to go, okay, well, what about access? And we know some districts did a great job of getting packets out the door because they weren't sure about access. So it's all those kind of decisions that people have to make. And then how do we get started? So today is really about what a lot of our thoughts were, how do we get started? Because you have to remember the stress you feel when you start your first Zoom conference is the same stress you probably felt when you were a brand new teacher. You had no idea what the outcomes were going to be for that first day when you walked into that classroom. So it's those uneasy feelings. So our belief is you keep it simple. So a lot of the lesson planning that you're going to see today is going to be keeping it simple. And then hopefully graduating and adding things to your lesson, to your daily lessons that you're doing. And then you're wholly getting to closer and closer to what you think is ideal for distance learning. But don't worry about starting small. We all have to start small. And some considerations that I think we need to make is the first one is the most important one that I see is our equity access during this time. And number one, and a lot of people, you saw teachers reading books to their kids and really just doing some fun activities in the and I know I've got a 5-year-old at home, and his 5-year-old talked a lot about how he enjoyed just sitting there watching his teacher on Zoom, better than any other TV show that he would watch. So it's really just making a connection with your kids. The other one thing that we learned, and we'll try to do that in our lesson planning, and we'll show you, is how do you leverage those assets at home so that you're thinking about the child's home and what assets are there versus always looking at what are the things that aren't at the home. So look at the assets that are at the home. And more importantly, the idea is making sure that you're providing some kind of instruction at the rigor you can, and not necessarily trying to just get through a sequence of events. And again, it is quality versus quantity. We're going to go with very little quantity today because we're going to try to jack up the quality as much as we can. And then I think most of you are knowing it is flexible schedules. Our whole life is one big flexible schedule now. And then I think the biggest one that I'm noticing, you'll see in some of the lessons, that high use of choice. Again, a lot of this is dealing with cultural responsiveness, the UDL philosophy, so universal design that we've been talking about a lot for the last couple of years, cultural responsive teaching. So trying to get those choices in so that you're helping all kids. And then don't forget about your kids with disabilities, your students with disabilities. And this is just a short list. The link down at the bottom of this slide is the bigger list. And we'll push out the PowerPoint as soon as this is done. We'll push out the PowerPoint to you. But keep in mind, small chunks are good. It's a good way of doing. If you can give a variety of ways of presenting the materials, that's probably the best. If you have alternative activities or tasks that they can do so that they can show their mastery of the task, again, it almost works for a universal design lesson. And keep in mind that also supports your special ed learners. The directions and a lot of our lesson planning will be simple. We try to be talking a lot that everything is about being simple right now and not trying to stay away from complex. And then most importantly, go slow and use lots of examples. I am always impressed when we do staff meetings, because we do them every day, and I'm always impressed by the questions they ask, because I think I've just told them the clearest way I possibly can. But of course, when you're telling somebody directions, it is always harder than showing them the directions. So we always have this give and take back and forth. Just remember, your kids are going to struggle in the same way. And of course, kids with disabilities are going to struggle even more so. And then the other group to consider, most importantly, is our second language learners. And we have a variety. Most of ours are speak Spanish, but we have a variety of second language learners. So it's always every student. What are we doing to help every student in our class? What are the text features? So there's lots of translations out there. There's lots of, Lisa is a good resource for dual language resources. So if you're looking for to do Spanish things, Lisa Rivera is a name I would write down, and you can contact her and she can give you more research, resources. The other thing we're finding is that and we'll talk about it when we get to the kind of the do's and don'ts, is using familiar strategies become huge. And then of course, we always want to elevate their first language. That's the one, certainly our kids that are brand new to our country, that's the one they're most comfortable with. So if we can start there and then move forward, that's great. But also encourage them to use their L1 as much as their new language that they're learning. Of course, the new language, as we know, is English. And then we chunk things to allow them to take it in better. Okay, so just a variety of kind of ideas for our second language.